Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his journal, "Pass through this brief patch of time in harmony with nature and come to your final resting place gracefully, just as a ripened olive might drop, praising the earth that nourished it and grateful to the tree that gave it growth." Now this is a beautiful idea, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to focus on the way that he looked at the world, finding beauty in ordinary things that most people wouldn't even notice. As he wrote, "Just as a ripened olive might drop, praising the earth that nourished it and grateful to the tree that gave it growth." You see, it takes a poet's eye to notice that death is not unlike an olive falling from the tree. And his journal is also filled with more of these beautiful comparisons and metaphors. For example, stalks of ripe grain bending low, the frowning brow of the lion, the foam dripping from the boar's mouth. You see, it takes a poet's eye to notice the way baking bread splits in places, and those cracks, while not intended in the baker's art, catch our eye and serve to stir our appetite, and finding a metaphor in that. And I find it so fascinating the way he writes in his journal to himself. He didn't write this to anyone else. And if you don't know, Marcus Aurelius was one of the greatest, I think he was the last of the 5 great emperors of Rome. And I read these things from his journal. And it's such an interesting, such a fascinating thing that he wrote these beautiful lines just for himself. The thing I really want to talk about is that we can also cultivate this kind of perspective, looking at the world through the eyes of a poet, finding beauty in ordinary or seemingly unbeautiful things. You see, there's clarity and joy in seeing what others can see and finding peace and harmony in what others easily overlook. Wandering in things like the trackless woods, flowers and the grass dancing along with the wind, purposeless clouds going by and an airplane passing through them. Reading a book, the sun peeking through the mountains early in the morning and coloring the sky. That early winter fresh air. A song on repeat. You see, there's a profound peace and stillness in all of these things. And we can find this beauty everywhere around us. This is why I think this is so good. To cultivate this poet's eye and to develop this ability to see beauty around us everywhere that we go. Because it makes life just more fun and joyous and more peaceful. And of course more beautiful. And being honest right now, isn't it better than seeing the world as a dark place? Because you see, it's all about perspective. How we look at the world, our thoughts, our beliefs, our perception of the world and life determines how we will feel about it. Because you see, life is not good or bad. Life is just the way as it is. We put the label of good and bad on it. There's plenty of good and bad in the world. What we pay attention to, what we focus on, that determines whether or not we'll have a good or bad experience, whether or not we'll complain about everything or be grateful for everything that we have. And now you might be thinking, okay, of course, it's easy to find beauty and wonder when you're in nature, when you're on the top of a mountain, or when you're on the sea. But most of the time, we're indoors, we're in buildings, we're in a city. We don't have time for that. But you see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Cultivating the poet's eye, the ability to find beauty everywhere, even in struggle, even in suffering. The ability to find beauty in the city, in normal, ordinary things that otherwise you will just pass by. Simple things like just cracks in a building, or the little bubbles in your drink or your coffee. You see, the little paws of a cat that he left on the trunk of a car. A couple holding hands and going by. Are you starting to see that beauty is everywhere around us? We just have to look and open ourselves to it. Become more aware and just pay attention. And to not lose our sense of wonder and curiosity. I mean, don't you remember when we were a child? We were amazed by everything. We saw a random ant on the floor and we were just blown away by it. And we can get that curiosity and that wonder in existence and nature back. We don't have to lose that wonder and get all bored and groggy and serious. We don't have to be like that. We can cultivate that sense of curiosity and wonder that we had when we were a child. And also just thinking about the fact and not forgetting how crazy it is, the very fact that we exist. That we're alive, we're conscious, and that we're going to die. The very fact that all of this exists at all. How crazy that is, that we're here. We came out of this world and somehow we're conscious and alive, and not forgetting the great mystery behind all of these things. Because we can easily forget these and get lost in everyday's trivial stuff. So this is why I think that it's so important to not lose our sense of wonder and to wonder in everything around us, in the trees, in the flowers, in the buildings, in ourselves, who we are, in animals, in technology, and become curious like a child again. Have the sense of wonder, just looking at your skin and seeing all the complexity and how crazy all of this is. That, I had a scar here and now it's healed. How crazy that is. And that I didn't have to do anything. It did it by itself. Or maybe I did it. You see, we're also doing all of this crazy thing. We're working our nervous system, digesting our food, growing our brains and shaping our bones. We do it. Yet we don't know how we do it. We can't put it into words. Such interesting stuff. And when we wonder in these things, life just becomes more exciting, more beautiful, more still. And we can find this beauty even in hard times. For example, I think that it was Anne Frank that I read about, that when she was hiding from the Nazis in that little attic, she found stillness and peace and beauty in this little window that she had, and she was able to look out of it, and there was this small tree. And she found beauty in that. And she wrote something in this journal, like her journal, something like that beauty, she wrote something about beauty and how you can find it in every single situation, and it can bring you out of these bad situations. So as an actionable step, wherever you are right now, just stop. Just stop. Take a deep breath. And just look around. Look around you. What kind of beauty can you find around you that otherwise you wouldn't have even noticed? Pay attention. Become more aware. Open your eyes, your ears, your nose, every single sense. Open it up and become aware. What can you feel in this moment? And just be here right now, in this moment. Just take a look around. What can you see? The small little details. The beauty in every single little thing and the complexity in it. And just wonder in it. And you can leave a comment about the stuff that you've seen. I'm actually very curious, like, what was the thing that you didn't expect to find beauty in? You can leave a comment about that. So thank you for watching. If you're interested, I'm doing free one-on-one calls. You can send an email to me and we'll arrange a video call and you can ask me anything that you want. We'll talk about anything that you want. If you have any questions, just send me an email. And you can also leave a comment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. All the love towards you. Have a great day and goodbye.